Diamond is a former black gang member and a close friend of Mike Moy. He's featured in Mike's memoir, Bad to Blue. To find out more about his story, grab a copy today. Link is in the description.
Them shells hitting the floor is traumatizing to a lot of fucking people. Yeah, ask anybody that's been in a shootout. You hear the shells hitting the floor more than you remember hearing them bullets. Yeah, that sound that fucking copper casing makes is distinct and different. Sometimes I hear that shit in my sleep. My name is Diamond. I was born in 1966 in Georgetown, Guyana. That's a small country in South America. 1977, myself and my entire family migrated to the United States, where we settled in Brooklyn in the Flatbush area. On the average, it was very, very poor. You don't know what you're going to eat. You don't know if you're going to eat. You don't know how you're going to eat. It all depends on your parents. Thank God I had parents that made things happen. The postcards is what got me as a child, because I always envisioned America as the way you see it on those Christmas cards with the pretty snowflakes. They find money on the street. There was all kind of rumors as a kid growing up, but that fueled your desire to go there. My first impression, I was in paradise. You know what it is seeing a color TV for the first time in your life? As big as you. Not just a regular, it was floor size. We got frostbitten. The second day, the morning after we got to America, because we all went outside and we was accustomed to walking around with no shoes, barefoot. We all went through the window because we lived on the first floor. So we just opened the window and jump out in the snow. Wanted to play. We all got frostbit. We were coming home from the pizza store. There's a pizza store on Flatbush and Regent. We were coming from the pizza store. And blah, 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 blah. My brother held us. We stood one place, looked to see. And there it was, right in front of us. One guy sulking against the wall, the other one running. First gunshot victim witness. And by morning, you hear he died. He didn't make it. Everybody, every area, every block had its own crew, its own gang, and you know, there's no other place like Brooklyn. My first experience in America with kids my age, which is in school. I was Lefferts Junior High, PS 61. It wasn't nice. I mean, them American kids, they say some pretty hurtful stuff, man. Call you all kind of refugee, all this. Couldn't get a girlfriend. You were the one kid that sat in the classroom and dreamed about her. You couldn't get her. Because you were an outcast, you were a refugee, you came on a banana boat. I don't like to see advantage. I don't like racism. I don't like bullies. I don't really like authority or anything that represents it. If we're all equal, I'm the happiest person. If not, then I have a goal. If we have levels and standards, I have to reach the top. Every day, that's school right there. First time being robbed, last time. One time for my watch. I never gave it up. They were beating my head like a, there was that thing called with a racket with a ball on a string, and you keep pop, 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 pop. And I kept hitting the marble wall, bouncing back. I wasn't going down and they wasn't giving up. And for some reason, the asshole kept telling me to take it off. If he took it, I wouldn't resist. But he kept telling me to take it off and give it to him. And my brother came. He got his ass whipped too, but we ran. You know, but that's the last time. My dad, you know, he prepared us for it. He let us know this is where you're at now. This is what happens. You know, you mind your business. You don't talk to the police, and you'll be all right. You'll get your ass whipped if you run. You make it home from running from anything, you get your ass whipped. You have to face whatever. My dad was serious about that. You don't run from no one. My mom was working, my dad was hustling. And in those days, it paid to hustle. It's not like then, it's not like now where there's competition on every corner. No. In those days, there were very few of them. And they had a close-knit community. My dad had a herb store on Fulton and Nostrand, Fulton and Albany, called Roots, the New Generation. I mean, everybody knew it. Even though as a child I was oblivious to what it really meant and what was really happening, but still I enjoyed the fruits of it. Yeah, I mean, it is you coming from a family that 6 kids on one bed. You leave that and wake up the next day with your own bed in your own room. And you one of 9 kids. So you can see the difference immediately. You no longer have to wait till your older brothers finish with that shoes to get it. I don't know, maybe that put the taste of crime in my mouth. I don't know, maybe that life right there. Maybe it started right there. Vanderveer was my stomping grounds. Vanderveer was like 4 blocks up. Oh, that's where we played. All the kids I hanged out with lived there. You know, eventually we had an apartment there. Robberies, stick-ups, snatching, chains. I was a regular kid, man. At least I consider myself in what everybody else was doing. I guess this is about 1979 in junior high school, stabbing. But we had our switchblades and our, what we call ice pricks, pokers. That's what we used to call them. We'll poke you, man. We walk by you and leave you leaking. We even used to use our fellow school kids, man. We all go to King's Plaza, sometimes 20, 30 deep. And we rush in any store we want to. Snatch and run. You kids, they can't do you nothing. Not even the police could do you nothing. Police hold you, they gotta call your parents. They can't question you, they can't do you nothing. You're kids. Vanderveer, that was the incubator for crime. Because that's all you do. You come outside and people would give you jobs. Got a job for you. Yeah, you good at that, got a job for you. My first gun that I actually own, I didn't buy it. My first gun I ever got, I took it from a police officer. The elder guys, that's in the Vanderveer area, they got tired of you coming and borrow their guns. They got tired. I mean, you like gun, you want a gun? Come on, I'll show you how to get a gun. See that guy right there? It was a female too. I don't know. She got 38 extra rounds. You could fight. You got a knockout punch. Yeah, well, ask her the time. The minute she goes like this, pow. Last thing she sees, the face of her watch. Take the walkie-talkie, you throw it, and you run. First gun that was mine, that I didn't have to give back to anybody, took it home with me. I was about 13, 14, still an infant. My dad's store, that store, Roots, had everything. You learned to shoot there for the first time. They had the shotgun, they had the Winchester, they had the 38, the 32. You pick your choice, you go in the back. And you learn how to shoot there. When you're in that store, you better know how to handle or at least not be afraid to point that gun. That was the thing they always jumped in your head. Do not be afraid to point. If you don't like the way this guy is looking at you, If you feel that he's up to no good, you pick that shit up. Get out the fucking store. Get out. That edge you have is that, yo, diamond don't miss. They used to say my bullets come around the corner behind you. No, it don't come around the corner. You run into it. If you think you dashing around that corner, you dashing into it. If you had went straight, it would have missed you. Far Rockaway was like new turf, new victims, new territory. It was like untapped resources. That's the type of place you want to fucking dump a body, go there. They have bushes. You don't have to find no sewer or no open hole, or you don't have to dig no hole. They got bushes. Throw that shit there. My mother have 6 boys. 5 out of the 6 has tasted jail, either on a federal or a state level. First time in jail, October 31st, 1984. The bouquet robbery that took place in Far Rockaway, which is Queens, New York. See, we went to Miami and we did a robbery, and we sent back the stuff we got with a guy from Far Rockaway, Donovan. And he got back to New York and decided he was going to do his own thing. You know, we couldn't find him. It became so that he made so much money, he became easy to find. So we went and visited him. It so happened the night we went there, he had a party in his apartment. And we snuck in there. I had on a mask. I was a blonde for the first time in my life. He high out of his fucking brains. He didn't even realize who he's looking at. He was under too much cocaine to die. Even getting shoot at close range. He was under too much cocaine to die. So he didn't die. He went to the hospital. 2 days later, we went to his house. And you know them Korean corner stores, they sell them $3 rose bouquet? And they're not even real. They're not even real roses, but it's a bouquet. And we got that on a get well card that we went to the house, man. Some guys is ducking behind the door, and they're at the side of the building, and I rang the bell. Yeah, we heard what happened to Donovan, man. And, you know, that's why we bring a get well card and some flowers for him, man. As soon as she opened that door to receive it, we stormed in there. We spent about 5 or 6 hours in there, researching. For a long period of time, I was holding the people hostage. And I went downstairs with John. John is our leader. And for the first time in my life, I seen a studio mic. And I snatched it, plugged it out, put it in my back pocket. By the time we tried to get up the stairs, there's this fucking giant, man, he's about 6'7", 320. He's a giant with jerry curls. The basement, the only way out of the basement is to come up the stairs and go through the first floor. We're going up and he's coming down. So instinctively at that mic, back the fuck up. He put his hands up and he put it in reverse. We ran out. We all ran out. You turn left, police. You turn right, police. You go straight ahead, police. You turn back, police. So we decided to run up and hide on a garage top. And we are up there, we're trying the best to hold our breathing down so they can't hear us. And the next thing you hear is fucking helicopter. By the time we made it to Rikers Island, we were superstars because we was all over the news. We was all over the news. Rikers Island was watching us all day. The chase and the whole nine. We were rock stars when we reached Rikers Island. You know, and that's a whole new life there. Rikers Island. If you think you're a fucking gangster and you want to test your gangsterism, go see 74 in the 80s. I mean, the amount of scar faces that came out of there, faces with slashes and cuts and fucking holes all over you. In the 80s, C-74 unmatched by nowhere else. So it was adolescence, and we were wild. So I knew I wasn't going anywhere, so I prepared myself. You know, I'm going to be here a little while. So I made jail my home, and we did in jail the same thing we do on the streets. You know what I mean? We ran it. Everywhere we went, in the system and out the system. Top shotters, go-getters. But Attica, Clinton, Auburn was where high-profile prisoners were. Or what do you call maxi-max prisoners that was under intense supervision. SHU, the SHU. It's the greatest university. If you want to learn, be it you want to learn crime or you want to learn education, you want to learn history, whatever, the SHU. It's almost 7 out of 10 people in there is some kind of legend or somebody that's been around the block. You know what I mean? That's all they basically do. The younger ones, they school them, educate them. If you don't know how to read, by the time you leave the SHU, you know how to read. You go in there ignorant as hell, you come out there, you could have a conversation with any lawyer, any doctor, any professor, as if you went to a real university. Solitary is a large part of my prison bid, man. I stayed in solitary everywhere I go. Even in Rikers Island, from Rikers Island on up. Because I always had assaultive to staff on my record. In some jails, that's automatic. Officer Bell, he was a dick. You know, we were in the Bing. The Bing is solitary confinement. We were in the Bing. We go to the law library, study our cases. While you're in the law library, your friends come and see you. You know, they bring you a little weed, especially cigarettes. Cigarettes was the big thing. You can't get no cigarettes in the Bing. You got to go to the law library, and they bring it there. They either stash it in the library and tell you where it's at, or they bring it while you're up there. Well, Officer Bell, I guess he was a substitute or a relief officer for that particular day. But he decided that whatever normally goes on was not happening on his watch. And we decided it was happening. But he searched and let everybody go and kept me alone. And I'm like, I'm damn near 200 pounds. And I'm looking at this tall, skinny American dude, and I'm like, fuck you think is gonna happen? What you think? I warned him. What you think is gonna happen is not what's gonna happen. Ah, you got a lot of mouth. When the ass whipping start, they press that fucking button. Now, you don't want that alarm to go off and the respondents to that alarm come and see their fellow officer laying down face first. You don't want that. That's why I have no teeth to this day. Quite a few brain, they stomped me into next week. And when I came home, took some gold to the jeweler, to the dentist, having made my teeth, picked out that blue stone to put in it, and that's where Diamond was born. Yeah, that's 1989. That's where Diamond was born, that blue stone. Ping! The diamond became like a tattoo. It became an ID card. And like a few times they came looking for me and they ran into my friends and they make everybody skin your teeth, open your mouth, let me see in your mouth. They're looking for the diamond. At one time in my life I used to wear the basketball mouth guard to hide the diamond. Because the minute you smile or talk and the light hit it, Bing! Everybody, ooh, smile, let me see it. Can I see it? But that's how you used to get the girls. When I got out of prison, the first thing I did is I went to Virginia, because my family, my mother and my dad and my younger brothers, they had migrated from New York to Virginia. I went to Virginia. You know, just chilling out, relaxing the first few days. But while you're there, you notice things. And you call your old crew. Maybe we need to come down here. From here, you could go to D.C. We was in Dale City, Virginia. You call your boys. Listen, one by one, y'all come on down. Don't come in a posse. One by one, come on down. Jump in the bus. Come on down. Work. Cleaned up Virginia first. D.C. Then went further down south. North Carolina, South Carolina, Miami, Georgia. That entire I-95 corridor. Cleaned it up. Being that I came from underdog status, inside I never really elevated myself above that. I'm always the underdog. And I take pleasure in bringing your big ass down, especially if you consider yourself up there. I will bring you down. I take pleasure in it. I mean, we never did nothing to the underprivileged. There's always the go-getters, the tree cars and the tree motorbikes and the alligator shoes. Yeah, we coming at you, dude. Never know our 9-to-5 workers or break into no struggling family house. No, drug dealers, hustlers, serious money. I mean, you make a raise, you give everybody something. Look, you don't gotta know how we got it, how it came from. Look, did good today. Let's go to dinner. We're eating, everybody hold this, you hold that, you hold. That's how we was. That's where we got that Robin Hood thing from. And I was always out of state, especially for the winter. And I can't handle that goddamn cold, man. Out of state. You stack them and rack them. By the time you come back to New York, it's to bless up everybody. Mom, sis, bro, pops. Everybody good? Cover this beer, we gotta go again. And I get pleasure out of hearing other people talk about me. Because you get the reward you're looking for. Or your sense of justice, even though you knew you're a fucking criminal like everybody else. But a criminal with a difference. You know, we only rob drug dealers. You know, we don't rob no old lady or no. Kill killers and you rob gangsters, rob robbers. In my point of view, if crime was about wealth, I would have been one of the wealthiest, but it was never about wealth. Because most of the things I accumulated, or the wealth and stuff I accumulated, I shared. I mean, if I go out and I come home with a couple $1,000, the whole family is going shopping. Who don't have, will have. Who need, will get. And that's where, even to this day, that's where I get my joy. Everybody around me have, except me. But that's where I get my joy. Basically, I came home in the later half of '89. And by around 93, that's been right around when I met Mikey. 93, 92. Because I was tired, man. I was running out of places to go. I had done shitted up and down that corridor. You was going back and eat your own shit. I was almost wanted in almost all of those states. They just did not know my real name. That's why I have so many AKAs, everywhere I go I have a different name. But after I met Mikey, No more traveling. No more traveling. You know what I mean? You escape death so many times. So many of your friends were killed or in jail doing long stretches. Yeah. Your luck runs out, man. Time to chill out. So, slow down. Stayed in one place. But that's how we met, over watching movies. Me in front of his store watching the movies he was showing. Then, after being there 1, 2, 3 times or whatever, we started conversating. And from there we hit it off. That was the only store in our community that was all Kung Fu movies. After then he brought me into the fold to run the Kung Fu movies. And from there there was no stopping. Mikey ran a whole lot of different places. That was just one of them. Mikey had taxi stands. Mikey had fucking cars and collectibles before I even knew what the fuck that was. That's why I keep saying he was ahead of his time. Hong Kong movies. When you talking Hong Kong movies, the best is John Woo. The best. If Hong Kong got 10 great movies, 8 of them is John Woo. And 7 out of that 8 is Chung Yong Fat. It's the coolest fucker you would ever see in your life. That's Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Charlie Bronson. That's all of them wrapped up into one. If you got a John Woo movie, like I sell the videos. If you have a John Woo movie, it's one of the first movies going off the shelf. Diamond Billiards on the junction of Flatbush Avenue there. That there is what I would call possibly the best time of my life. You were out there with the players and the ballers and the gangsters. You were out there with the girls. You were out, everybody. Diamond Billiards was, we rescued Flatbush with Diamond Billiards. We rescued Flatbush with Diamond Billiards. Flatbush had no life, no nightlife, no entertainment other than the booty bar. Diamond Billiard became the place to be every night.
Tell us about the owner, Mike.
Mike, let me say, Mikey was ahead of his fucking time, man. Mikey saw shit that nobody else could see. I mean, especially business-wise. You saw what he was talking about in 1990. You didn't see it until 1992, 93. He was like 2 years ahead of everybody, business-wise. I mean, never cracked a bad egg yet. All the eggs he cracked turned into omelets. But that Diamond Billiard, man.
So
that was it.
Mike was a Chinese gang member, and then, you and most of the community there was black. How did you all get along?
When you say how did y'all get along, what do you mean? How did me and Mike get along, or how did the community get along?
How did you get along personally, and how did the community get along?
Me and Mike's like Starsky and Hutch, Sticks and Clutch, Biggie and Puff. There's no not getting along. There's no, we got along. Maybe too good, but we got along. He's a fucking brilliant guy, man. He didn't belong in the streets. He was way ahead of his time. It took a while for anybody to see or realize that. But brilliant fucking guy, man. Wasn't just the pool hall, but the pool hall was like the crown jewel. There were steps on the way that if you paid attention, you would have known that this is where it's leading to. I don't know. I don't think if I didn't get arrested and deported, he would have stopped. We would have been by now. Shit. Scary to think what we would have been by now with Mike driving.
And so how do Chinese gangs differ from black gangs?
It's like night and day. The structure, the trust, the Asian gangs, they check their ambition at the fucking door. Everybody know their place, everybody knew their time, everybody knew. It's not the black gang where everybody is a wannabe, including me. Of course I want to be. It's a sign of ambition, you want to be. But the Chinese guys, it's not like they didn't lack ambition. It's that it was a unit. And the more you hang out with them, the more serious it became. Because you be in Flatbush and there's a crew there. You go Avenue U, there's another crew there. And there's none of the guys that's in Flatbush. You go somewhere else, it's another crew and it's all one crew. Nobody out of place, no void, but never had one fucking incident. Never had, not one of them, you had to pull them up, you had to check them. Never. They were there, and it's like they're not there. The only time you would know that they're associated is if there were problems. It's the only time. Other than that, it's like you're at your table, they're at their table, I'm at my table. They understood how to be criminals. Like something you would see in the movies when you think of it today. They were that fucking Mikey, man. That was the straw that stirs the drink. The bartender used a straw to mix your martini, and he chose a straw in the garden. You never see that straw. That fucking straw is what started that perfect shot you drinking. That's Mikey. You don't say much. Always wears a fucking suit, so he looks like he's above everything. He don't belongs. Don't talk to many people. But that's Mikey. That's the straw that stirs the drink. That's it.
What's his circle of friends like? Is it tight?
Very. You couldn't. That's the thing about the unity. You would look at the, let's say, not to sound racial or anything, but you would look at the black gang, or the Hispanic gangs or whatever. You can identify who the leader is, or who the bad guys is. Or you couldn't do that with the fucking Chinese or the Asian gang. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. The most dangerous guy is the coolest guy, the most quietest guy, the most unassuming guy. That he's the one you think you could fuck around and get away with it. It's not so. That's Mikey. That's fucking Mikey.
So it sounds like he didn't trust too many people, tight circle of friends, but he trusted you. Did you know that?
Yeah, we trusted each other. I mean, we seen things and we knew things that only us knew. And since it's only us knew, then we knew we weren't snitches. Because only us knew. So trust was never a fucking issue. Trust was never an issue. What end up happening is crime catches up to you. And it caught up with me first. That's what stopped the roll. If that didn't happen, I'd have an orgasm thinking what would have happened by now, man. Believe that. The food chain, there were a few guys in there, Mike, Peter, Jack. If them guys ever stepped out, maybe not all would have made it, but at least one or two of them would have made it, and made it big, because they were that good at what they were doing. But because they always, and that was the difference between the blacks and the Asians. Blacks want to be the boss. They have no problem in having a boss. I have no problem. First thing a black would look at you and say, you do nothing. I do all the fucking work. Who I'm spending my mind with? Asian gang don't have that. They focus.
Was Peter the boss?
You could have never tell. Somebody had to tell you that.
That what?
That he's the boss.
Who's the boss?
Peter. You could never look and tell that.
And then
You know who used to look like the boss? Mikey. Just like a boss. He's always in a fucking suit. Peter is a regular guy. Blue jeans, a winter bomber, a sweater. Nothing flashy. No boss-like attitude. None of the trimmings that goes with the boss. The only way you would know he's the boss is when they're all together. Then you will see the love and respect that's aimed at his way. That's when you'll know that he is something. But that's another thing with the Asian gangs. Asian gangs have so many bosses. They have bosses on every level. On the first floor, there's a first floor boss. On the second floor, there's a second floor boss. On the third floor, there's a third floor boss. And the first floor and the third floor boss, they don't get together without the second floor boss. There's a chain of fucking command that's almost military-like, that they don't break. I don't know why, but they don't.
And so how did Mike conduct himself?
Cool, calm, collected.
And then what about Peter?
Peter's a hard one. Now, the only reason I know who Peter is or who he was is because of my connection to Mike. Outside of that, if you decided that you were going to kill the leader of that gang, you would never aim at Peter. He never looked the part, he never played the part. And secondly, they didn't speak your language. So whatever the fuck they were saying, you didn't understand it. But Peter was just like everybody else, laughing, playing, shooting pools, playing with his girl. He never wanted to stand up and give loud orders, never disrespected no one. One of the coolest fucking guys you would ever meet in your life. And for him to be so cool and to hold the position he held, to me, that's what made him so fucking dangerous. But I've never met nobody else, our age in those days, that was in a position like that and did not wheel or flaunt their powers. He did no such thing. He didn't even just flashy.
Tell us about Chinaman Jack and how he got money to gamble.
That crazy motherfucker.
Who are we talking about?
Chinaman Jack. That guy. Quickest robbery you would ever see. Quickest robbery you would ever see. Quickest, quietest, and most successful. All in one. All in one. In 10, 15 minutes, he's back. With thousands of dollars. Borrows a bicycle. And because nobody in the community was really familiar with him, he kept using me as a mediator. He needs a bicycle, he come to me. You want to borrow your bicycle, he come to me. See if you can get a bicycle for me. I gotta go get some money. Where you going? Yeah, and then one day he tells you, them Chinese people, they don't go to the bank. All their money is under their bed. And they had a system where they knew who their children was, or they knew what angle to speak to them people about, and they give you their fucking money. You don't have to do what we do. You don't have to put your life on the line. You don't have to take no high risks. They talk. They work it out verbally. And they leave with all that money. Quick. On more than one occasion, Jack came back, left broke, came back with as much money as the winner in the game. Let's go again. He was determined. That's one thing with Jack. Jack hates to fucking lose. You have to beat Jack 3 or 4 times before he accepts defeat. No one punch knockout. He wake up and let's go again. That's one of the things I like about him, his determination. And he's fearless. Outside of Mikey, that's probably the only dude I would go and do a crime with, Jack.
So how did he get that money with the bike?
Some Asian family on Bedford Avenue, not very far away from where we were. I mean, he knew the layout. He knew the children, what school the children went to. He knew the children name. And he just go and he tell them, listen, you like Mikey? You want to see Mikey? That's it. The Asian people don't call the police. They don't go to the banks. And the Asian gangs or guys knows that. And I guess this is you as ruthless as you want to be. Either you want to do it or you don't. Jack did it. Jack did it to fuel his gambling habits. Because that's the only time these things came out. When he was in the gamble and he was losing. Because it took Jack a while to realize pool hall got pool sharks. It took him a fucking while to realize that. You know what I mean? This is not the place you want to gamble at. You got professional sharks, they come in here with holes in their pants. They look like bums. Once the game starts, you want to beat your fucking self. Why did I waste it? But it was all good, man. Nothing you could do about it. It was all good. No fighting in the pool hall. Pool hall was, what's your flavor tonight? Do you feel like a pecan Rican? Pick your choice. That was the pool hall. That was, you don't take food to a restaurant. You know, the menu is there and it's fully loaded.
What type of women would come to the pool hall?
All kind. All kind. You had the Barbies, you had the Roughnecks, you had the hustlers, the whores, everybody. And the pool hall, man, the pool hall took on a whole new life all on its own. We didn't necessarily take it there. Because I don't think none of us could have predicted so fast, so quick, that the pool hall would have became so. I mean, some nights, as big as that place was, it's crowded. I mean, like you're in a goddamn concert. It's crowded. And yeah, and it became the place to be. And all the girls are there. The guys are there. You know, they're gambling, playing pool. And that jukebox used to make money because they burn it out, boy. They play, they blast it, they dance. You know, the pool hall was like a secret life to us, man. None of the girls that we had at home really knew what was happening in that pool hall. We always thought it was, business. You know what I mean? And we conduct ourselves properly when it comes to business. So they had no doubts or no problem.
And so, well, first, what was the songs off the jukebox that you remember? What kind of music? What songs?
Biggie Smalls, because that was his era. The era that he was on top of the music world, that's the pool hall era also. So Biggie Smalls, TLC, that creep, that song Creep. Ooh, that song there was that's an iconic song for those that could remember. That song encouraged the girls to sneak out. Go do your thing on the side and come back home like nothing is, It's not personal. Creep. You know what I mean? Sometimes just being there presiding over everything, it was a rush. I mean, you were top of the world. We were on top of the world. We had no equals. There was no threat to us. Nothing. A lot of people used to want to know what the hell we did to establish it like that. We didn't really do much. We just did not hesitate to let it be known. Penalties will be applied to all violation. Yeah, so nobody messed around. Nobody.
What's Mike like, in terms of back then when he was 25? What did he like to drink? How did he conduct himself?
Mike has never been much of a drinker or a smoker. He'll puff a cigar, 2 pull of weed, fuck his ass up. He sit down in his car, and next thing you know, it's night. Weed. But he's not, doesn't indulge in nothing. His vices are minimal. Like me, I smoke all day. No, not Mikey. If you get him to smoke, he take a few pulls, and he's finished. No, drinking. His thing was he likes to eat. He doesn't eat alone. He's one of them human beings that they don't like to break their bread alone. They sit at the table, there must be other people there. Everybody's happy, everybody's joyful. He force you to eat some stuff you never heard of. Try it, hey. You like it? Break more. But that's Mike, man. Mike was, if I was to get a nickname for him, it would be Poker Face. Could not read his mind or his thoughts. You couldn't.
How did he dress back then?
Out of place. And everybody else is in lumberjacks and Timberlands. He's in shoes, 2-piece suits and ties. GQ. I'm straight out of Jet or Ebony magazine, and he's out of GQ. I don't think I ever saw him in a fucking blue jeans and shirt and t-shirt in those days. Suits. Tales of two characters. There's a 9 to 5 Mike, and there's a 5 to 9 Mike. 2 different characters. The 5 to 9 Mike, that's the one you don't want to fuck around.
Did anybody challenge him in the pool hall?
No. That would be asinine. Why would you challenge him in the pool hall? He had the best of 2 worlds in his hands. He had me and my people, and he had his own people. Pick your poison. Why would you fuck around? No. I cannot remember nobody, not even staff, ever really had a problem in there. Not no serious problem. You know, we pretty much had smooth sailing in there, man. Pretty much. And everybody knew that he carried a gun. Why or how they knew? So nobody messed with him.
How did he handle riffraff when they came in, or cause little problems in the hall?
He's always the voice of reason until you demonstrate to him reasoning makes no sense. You know, he'd be like, man, take him downstairs and whatever happens, happens. But if not, if you could be reasoned with, he would save your ass. That was the thing about him. He's not aggressive. He's more or less defensive. You really have to piss him off. And when you get to that point, take what you get. Yeah, I mean, 1-to-1, I don't think you could beat him. He's not afraid. And that's the worst opponent to have. He don't care about your size, he don't care what powers you got. He's just not afraid. You don't want that person as an opponent. They will eventually win you. They'll wear you the fuck down. And that's Mike.
Did any of your friends, I know you got close to him over the years, did any of your friends get close to him?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew each other. Everybody knew Mike. Especially my closest associates. Everybody knew him. I had no problem with him. But that's the thing. And I guess I did the same thing too. Even though with his gang, we all knew each other and we gave that this socializing appearance. We really didn't. They knew. Most of the guys, they played the background. You know, if we would have a conversation, it would normally be me, Mike, Peter, you know, the bigger heads or the upper echelon. And the guys would be around the table with the girls and they were just having fun until somebody says, go here, go there, go do. We never, ever, my friends them were. A lot of them, I couldn't even bring them around the pool hall and in the store because, you know, my people have an affinity for big guns, man. And it's not really concealable. And the pool hall and the store. At any given moment you walking in, there's a police in there. He may not be on duty, but he's still a police. Because they were part of the customer base too. Yeah, a lot of police used to be in there. And they were there looking at you. Diamond, you know this guy? Yeah, that's my security. Man, he can't be walking around like this. I got him. He's going in the office. Yeah, a lot of them, Sparrow and people like that, you can't bring them in the store. If they come and visit you, they got to sit on the car outside and call you, you go out to them. Yeah. One time, Sparrow and them came in there and Hank and them almost went through the fucking back door. Like, who the fuck is these guys? Everybody with big guns, Desert Eagles and the whatnots. And they're not trying to hide it. And they come in there, they're like, yo, where Diamond? Call him. People scared. And when you come in there and there's all hugs and they're like, oh, thank God, man. Hey, these fucking guys, man, ready to push the fucking button with this. Nah, they good. This is security. That's what you tell them to calm them down. This is our security. When we got a call for backup, you dial 911. This is who I call. You know, but that's it. My friends, them, they were off the chain. They didn't give a fuck. His friends, them knew. They knew their lines. They knew their role. They positions and they played it. Nobody. My friends is a whole different issue.
Did you ever try with Mike to try to unite your two crews together?
No. No. Maybe not unite the two crews, but his crew more or less took me in. You know, we got along. My crew now, they're all over. Today they're here, tomorrow they're in DC, they're in Maryland, they're there. You know, my crew, they are highway runners. They don't stay in one place. And they come to New York is to visit family and loved ones. Spend a few days, they're gone again. You know, and that's how I was also before Mike. He brought a calming and settling effect in my life.
Did he? Has he helped you out through the years?
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, anytime I'm in problem, police-wise, locked up, need bail, Mikey, and no one else. No one. I mean, there are quite a few times I'm in Guyana, I have no money, hungry. But I won't call him. Because that's my ace of spade. When I'm incapacitated and can't move, that's when I would call him. You know? And never failed. Never. Never failed. If I called and said, Mikey, I'm hungry, go to Western Union. Never failed. Never. And I don't have a brother, a mother, a father, a uncle, or aunt that I could say that about. None of them. Even some so-called friends, I don't even speak to them no more. It don't make no sense. They're lying to you, making an ass out of you. What's the point? Actually, they named the fucking pool all after me. And a lot of people thought I owned it. It dignified, at least for me, it dignified my life. I mean, that's for the first time in my life you were looked at as a fucking businessman, not just a thug. One thing about Diamond Billiards, we used to have a lot of entertainers on there. Some on the down low. We did some video shoots in there. A lot of interviews was conducted in there. One night when they was videoing Major Mackerel's video, it was either a video shoot or an interview. The police ran in there. And I threw my gun behind the poker machines. And when the police came in, the whole place got quiet. So all you heard was clang, 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 boom, bang. And I was holding my breath because the next thing I was going to hear is bow. But it never happened. The police had to hear that. They had to hear it. But nothing came of it. They did their thing and just left. You know, but we used to have a lot of celebrities. We had the Locks in there. We had Jermaine Dupri them in there. The whole dance hall industry used to come. Bulletproof, Stereosonic, LP, Addies, the whole industry. It became, because the security, it wasn't like the rest of pool hall where anything could happen. There ain't nothing happening to you in there. When it came to the security, it was in your face. We had a large Asian gang in the middle of the goddamn pool hall. You can't miss them. And there's a lot of them, boys and girls. Then you have me and the other West Indians and my friends, and in the corner over there, table 19. And everybody knew that if I was the face, that the Asian gang was the power behind me, and vice versa. They never really said nothing to no one. But if a problem arises, they were right there. When the jukebox was playing, and it had this sound that was, you wouldn't think it's coming from a jukebox. It was powerful. So it had this club effect. And that was the pool hall, man. After certain hours, shooting pool made no sense. There was no room. For me, as it was for the customers, or maybe even more. You know what I mean? Because it gave you a life. For the first time in your life, you felt respected, not necessarily feared. You know, there's a difference in that. You get a sense of accomplishment with that. The relationship between the cops and the pool hall, and it's basically us. I guess it was one of respect. I don't know how anybody else look at it, but for me, it was one of respect. They knew we prevented more crime in our community than we committed, because nobody in that area could say we were criminals unless you knew us personally. Shot a lot of people, man. Number? Couldn't give you a number, but I tell you what though, 1983, I went berserk. Our neighbor had a printing shop beside us, and one of the ladies, when they Judy, he beat the living daylight out of her. And I mean, he beat the shit and knocked out her fucking teeth, broke her eye socket frame, he fucked her up. And as normal, they complain. Yeah. I said, all right. I see what I could do. Give me his number and his address. I found out he fucking drives a U-Haul. Oh, really? Okay, that's what he does. He does moving jobs. Called him, offered him a job, top dollar. And he came. I put some fucking shots in him, but couldn't get to aim properly because he put his foot down in that fucking gas. And you know the U-Haul, like it has a step on the outside of the door for you to step up and go in. I'm standing on there and I'm holding the fucking side mirror and he's going and I'm pat-ow, pat. Then I jump off, walk, go down the road, call my sister, tell her, go downstairs and see what happened to that dude. Is he dead? Spot come and tell me, no. He's sitting down outside talking to the police. And they're putting patches on him. He has no shirt. They took off his shirt. But it was so fucking cold he couldn't bleed. He just had a lot of holes. And they're putting patches on it. And he's talking. And yeah, he called your name. Fuck it, they only know Diamond. Okay. Anybody could name Diamond. But that was the one that ultimately undid me. After the pool hall closed down, you have to remember at the time I was hot. I was still running from the law. No money was coming in because I disassociated myself from Mikey and the gang and the pool hall and the store because I didn't want the police coming in there. So what I ended up doing is I got an offer to join two guys and open another gambling spot. And because I learned everything about the business from Mikey, it became easy. If it wasn't that, otherwise I would say, no, I knew nothing about it. But so I used to see how the only difference is the culture. But the rules, the goal and everything is the same, make money. So we had a gambling space in Crown Heights, 911. That's the address. Unbelievable. That's the fucking address, 911 Northern Avenue. Yeah, they're pretty good there. It was short-lived, man. That place is where I also went to jail from. Then deported. The last time I saw New York was from right there. At my immigration hearing, when they sentenced me to deportation, I mean, we had a heated battle because my child mother was in the courtroom. She was trying to to get them to be lenient, because at the time they arrested me, I was doing good. I mean, for the first time in my life, I was doing good. I wasn't really into crime, you know. So we had a heated battle. I got pissed. I told the judge what I needed to tell him. The fucking doors burst open. There's Florida, Nassau County, there's Virginia, North Carolina. Who am I missing? Arizona. I think California too. All had warrants. All got left holding their dick. It's finito, it's finished. The deportation order he's done. I'm done. That's why I never wanted to go back. A lot of my friends jumped at the opportunity to go. No, because them things don't have no, as far as I know it, they don't have no statute of limitation on them things. They put their fucking hands on you, shit open back up. All them jail, they got fucking tired of me. They got tired of me. They brought me home on a fucking military flight, man. I arrived in Guyana in grand fucking style. Everybody wonder, who the fuck is you? No, it wasn't that. They were tired of fucking me. The next thing going anywhere near Guyana, he was on it. How did I feel when Mikey told me he was a cop? Unbelievable. That's the best way to put it, man. I actually thought, it was some kind of scam they had going on.
And how did you feel when Mike told you that he had become a cop?
How did I feel when Mikey told me he was a cop? Unbelievable. That's the best way to put it, man. I actually thought, it was some kind of scam they had going on. Maybe they had him as the inside man on the force, and he could not tell him what the force is planning or thinking. But it was why the fuck would they give a criminal like him a gun and a badge? It just didn't make sense. You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense. But at the end, he explained that, everything was going downhill. You gone, you running and hiding, the police running, and so he just shut it down and started over. But I still don't tell nobody. A lot of my friends that know him, they don't know he's a cop, because I can't explain that to him. It's hard for me to explain it to myself. Just knowing Mikey the way I know him, if he tells me that it's 3-2-1, then it's 3-2-1. I don't need to see it. When you see it and you say it's 3-2-1, it's 3-2-1. But it's hard to explain, man. Why the fuck would they let Mikey be? Why would Mikey even want to be a police? He don't like them kind of things. Mikey want to wear a suit, the hard shoes. He don't want to wear no fucking uniform. But hey, it took a long fucking time to think it, man. You know what he did me? He didn't tell me until he was leaving. Yeah. Wait till he was leaving, then he told me. I could not believe it. I kept asking him, what's the deal? What y'all working on? What do you mean we're working on? Come on, man. Come on, it's me you're talking to. No, it's on the up and up. Come on, man. The opportunities are too. You're in there. How long we needed somebody in there? You're in there. What? What? Yeah. I mean, it's not that I wanted to accept it, but I mean, you never lied to me before, so it never crossed my mind. But I just thought there were more to it than it's just a job. I mean, we're not the type to be involved in just a job. We like spectacular jobs. We're not 9 to 5 type people. We're 9 to 5 type people. We're not 5. You know what I mean? But it was on. It still is. I don't even discuss it with anybody. You know what I mean? Even my closest friends that knows him, they don't know what he do. They don't know what he do, and I don't tell them. I don't tell nobody that. You know what I mean? Not just for security reasons, but I don't tell nobody. I don't think he's comfortable with it neither. I really don't, because there was a secrecy thing to it. And I think that was his comfort level. You look like a snitch. First you gangster, now you're a cop, you're a fucking snitch, you turned. You know what I mean? But I know him, and I kept telling, hey, man, you could just shoot somebody and run past fucking Mikey. Mikey, shit, you get out your way. Mikey ain't putting nobody in jail. He ain't gonna do it. He just collecting a paycheck and pension. He ain't putting no fucking body in jail. He ain't chasing nobody. He ain't jumping no fence behind nobody. Not Mikey. He ain't that kind of cop. He's a fucking desk cop. But yo, I guess everybody changed, man. You know, after one thing is another. At the end of the day, I was kind of glad that he was no longer out there in the streets, because everybody, all our friends was falling apart, man. All of them. Some of them did it to themselves voluntarily. I guess the pressure got to them. They became crackheads. You got suicide victims on the list. You got some in jail, a lot dead. Some of them crippled. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, personally, you're glad that he's safe. At least he's in a position where ain't much could happen. He's in control. The danger aspect is, you know. But it was hard to swallow that. That was a bitter pill, man. What? I'm talking to a fucking cop? What's the trick? What numbers do I bet on, man? But there's a reason now. It's not to protect and serve. It can't be. No. What's the deal? But hey, that's Mikey for you, man. Still can't believe it, but what are you gonna do? You can't change it. You know what I mean? And he's still the same old Mikey. I think that secrecy thing was he was trying to avoid the backlash, negative reactions. Instead of facing that, he'd rather say nothing. Who knew? Who didn't know? Don't tell nobody. Who the fuck am I gonna tell? Who do I want to tell? I'm a best friend of a fucking cop. Now my life is in danger. You know what I mean? But it was shocking. But then it also meant that I ain't have to worry about him anymore. You know what I mean? We talk, I just let him know, I strap up, buckle up, it's the law. You understand? Let's be careful. I think he can handle himself on the streets. I never worried about that. being in the gang is a whole different fucking thing because the whole gang could go at one time. You know, and that was people's mentality. Yo, wipe them all. One slam into everybody. Even the police moved like that. They sweep everything. The killers do it too. The gangs do it too. She got peace of mind finally. I'm gonna hang around them bad fucking guys. But yeah, it was shocking to say the least. He told me. He came all the way to Guyana to tell me that. Wow. He could have told me by phone. He didn't want to. So I asked him, man, so what's the deal? Is there a special horse to bet on? What? You not working? What? Boys don't know nothing about this? No. He hasn't told nobody. Only you and Penny know. Yeah, this is up and up. This is straight. You're flying straight. So you're gonna voluntarily become a nerd? No, not a nerd, a dick. They call cops. You're gonna volunteer to be a dick? He went from the coolest fucking guy, man. You see Mikey when he was young? Suits. And a fucking briefcase. I gotta ask him what he used to have in that briefcase. Always with a briefcase. That was his look. Where he got that from, I don't know. But that was his style. Suit, shoes. He didn't even look like he belongs in the gang. Like a young fucking lawyer or something. You know what I mean? But that was the difference between him and all his friends. Nobody else in the gang dressed like him. Nobody. Nobody. And he wasn't flashy. Just neat. Just neat. Mike visited me in Guyana. Too many times to remember, straight off hand, but yeah. That's the only body in America that has stayed constant and true. Mikey. Yeah.
Simon.
Still here, man. Well, we made it. We're still here.
And we're gonna be here in 30, 20. Another fucking millennium.